Hello, my name is Radoslav Chomik, and as part of my CA I make that screencast about ordered array. I choose to create a custom array class which have ascending order. Unfortunately, I didn't have too much time to test its timing in this, and I'm aware that there is some issues, especially with the strings if I try to pass strings into the array. And my code is as follows. This is the array class. We have private variables, which is data type MArray, size of the array, grow size, and number of elements in the array. I have a constructor which set the array using setter. It set also size of the array to passed size by user, and it nullified the number of elements in the array. In the structure we have, if the array is not empty, it's not zero, we delete whole array and put the array pointer to the zero. Next we have default setters and getters, which just they set and allows to set and get the array elements like grow size, size, and others. In index of it's searching function searching for the index of specific value passed into the function. First I try to use linear search, which is order n. It's very slow because it's compare each element with past value. That can take long time. Then I use the binary search, which just check in the middle point if the value is there. If it's bigger, it just leave the last half of the smallest half of the array and take another middle point of the greatest half of the array and check as long as it find the value. I should add also the guardian if the value is not found. I will fix that later. Next is push function, which just check how big is the array, if there is enough space in the array, if number of elements is not bigger than size of the array. If it's bigger, it can resize it. It's called the function to resize the array. If not, it's check if the array is empty. The first element is empty. If yes, it set first element of the array to item passed into it and increase the number of elements. Then it just, as long as number of elements, which is also I, is greater than 0 and I is not greater than number of elements, it just shift, if it's necessary, the element of array to place past item into correct place, into correct order, and it increased the number of elements. I have two functions sorting functions. I didn't add them to many. There are just functions I create in the first time before I start to creating push function, which sorts straight away. I find the bubble and selection function. I have find also other functions for sorting, but I didn't get time to test them for the how good they are in sorting. Pop function is just simple, take the last element of the array and delete it. Also it increases the number of elements. Remove function is similar to pop, just we can remove item on a given index. If there is not item on that index, we just get the message that no elements on that index, and it just return. Resize, that function is most time consuming. As for resizing, we need to create a new array, and we have to be also aware of that we use new, so we need to delete that later, clear it. It takes just the size of the array and multiply by grow size, which is specified by default to 1.5, but user have also can also change that itself if it's necessary, if you want to use different grow size. If that size is less than 0, then we get the message that we can't have minus number of elements in the array. Else we just create a new array of specific data type. We set the minimum value for size of the array if new size is less than size in given moment. So if you want to make an array smaller, we just set minimum value for new size. If not, we just set minimum value for size array have already. Then we just as long as I, which is 0 in the beginning, is less than size of the array decided in that part, we just copy each element from old array to new array. Then we check if the array is not 0, and we call destructor. I add also comment what size and the new array will have now, and we change the pointer of old array to new array to point in the place where new array was created, and we delete the new pointer. Clear function just clear a number of elements to set it to 0. I wasn't sure if I should it that way, or I just should go through array and set each element to 0, so I have that code also here in comment. And 3 last functions I create is the function to read unsorted array, which just create a file, and using fopen _s function, it's read the file. If the file is empty, we get, if the file size is 0, we get the message that file is empty. If not, we just take each of the element from the file which was read from text binary file, and with using push function put that into array. I'm not sure why, but there was something wrong with that code. It throws an error, so I commented it and now it's worked perfectly. And here we have function to write order. We just also create a file, set the right number of bytes, use fopen to write this file in binary. We can get error message that we couldn't write into file, and as long as the I is less than number of elements in the array, it will just place the elements into that file. So, and last but not least, the print function, it just iterates through the number of elements to don't show different strange numbers, and it display item on given position from the array. So let's try. So in the beginning, is program asks what size we want. For example, we give 50, and we store our floats. It should it's work perfectly also with integers. With strings, there is some problems. So I have already prepared file so we can read element from file. As we can see, there was more than 50 elements, so array have to be resized. It do that twice. Data was read successful, so now we can print that elements. Whoa. Okay. If we want to resize array to standard is 1.5. Remember, we had the 112 elements in the array. So if we, for example, use the 1.2, we have 134 now. Removing from by index, which position we want delayed. Let's say we delete position number 84, which is 50.4807, so it was 84. We print, and as we can see, number 50 is gone and everything is moved. We can also remove the last element, which is 98 position 91. If we print it, 91 is not anymore there. We can clear our array, and as we can see, we don't have anything, so we have to read it back. Okay, let's read correctly. And let's say search bar value. Let's say we will search 49.5685. 5685. Ooh. I need to check that why it doesn't print the index. Okay. Let's write to the file. Last function. Data saved. Path to file is ftemp. That's my path to the file. It's hard coded. I know it shouldn't be.